All right, everybody, welcome back to the Horseman Football Talk Podcast. This is Brad.
Hefe.
Okay, right now we're going to run down the rest of the NFL games for this weekend for week 3. If your team's not on this list, check out one of our other videos where we go into greater depth with that game. Okay, first game up that we want to talk about this week are like your predictions. We got the Bengals and the Jets, Hefe.
Harder than it should be. I'm not going to lie.
Joe Flacco is making it ridiculously harder than it should be, and the Bengals aren't doing themselves any favors.
Yeah, seriously. But, I think the Jets had no business to win in that game. If Nick Chubb goes down, and they made the plays to win it, you got to give the Jets credit. But they had no business to win in that game against the Browns. They have no business to winning this game against the Bengals. I think this is a get-right game for the Bengals, exactly what they need against a lesser opponent. I expect the Bengals to come out and embarrass the Jets.
Yeah, I think that too. I think the Jets appear to be headed in the right direction, and good for them. The Jets fans certainly deserve it. But the Bengals are a better team than that. They're a Super Bowl team. And I think this is, as you said, the get-right game. They're going to step out and start to get some confidence. They're going to take the win in New York this week. Next up, Ravens at Patriots. This could be a good game. Not for the reasons that the Packers and the Bucks is going to be a good game. This may be an evenly matched game.
Maybe. There's certainly a chance, like we were talking about when we were talking about the Bucks. You can't count out Bill Belichick, right? But generally speaking, Bill Belichick not great against Lamar Jackson, and I expect that trend to continue. I just think the Ravens' offense is too explosive, and the Patriots' offense is being run by a defensive and a special teams coordinator. So give me the Ravens all day.
Yeah, I don't really. We talked about this another video. I'm not real sure the Patriots should be getting better faster than they are with Mac Jones under center. I think he's a franchise quarterback. I don't know that he's Tom Brady, but I think he's a guy who will be around for a long time. And they should be getting progressively better, and they seem to be stuck at a plateau. The Ravens have championship caliber players. They've got a championship caliber organization. You would expect them to come out of it. They were manhandling the Dolphins for a little while. And I don't know that they lost that as much as Tua drove them back and come back and won that. So I expect the Ravens to go in and beat the Patriots as well. All right, next game up, Lions at the Vikings. Also harder than it should be.
Truly, because the Lions are putting up a bunch of points right now. Unfortunately for them, I don't think their defense, Aiden Hutchinson coming off a Lions rookie record, 3 sacks in a game, amazing second game after having a very quiet first game of the season. But the Vikings offensive line is pretty good. I think they'll be able to contain him, which will contain the defense. I expect the Vikings to come in and put like 50 points on the Lions.
Yeah, Matt Dan's he's hard to root against, man. You want the guy to win. He's so emotional, he gives his players everything he wants. I think he's gotten them better, but I don't think he's getting them better fast enough. I don't expect the Lions to contend. I don't know if the guy will be around again. They're certainly not going to go into Minnesota in this division and beat the way Minnesota's been playing so far. They're not going to beat Minnesota, in my opinion. So I'm taking the Vikings too. All right, next game up is the Eagles at the Commanders. It depends on which Jalen Wentz which Carson Wentz you get. But I think things are crumbling in Washington. People are calling for Jack Del Rio's head right now. Ron Rivera's had enough time to get his shit together there, and that's not happening either. They've done some good things, but I don't know if they've done championship team things. They're also appear to be plateauing. I think the Eagles are young, and I think their confidence is growing. And I expect the Eagles to come in and do some damage and come out with a W.
Yeah, this is Carson's first time playing the Eagles since he left the Eagles. Never played him as a Colt. Luckily, this one is in Washington for him, but I don't think it matters. I agree with you. Washington's secondary is too suspect for me. I think A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith will be able to tear him up. So this one, give me the Eagles.
All right. Next up, Texans at the Bears. According to Bears fans, this game will depend on what the referees do. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, right.
Never mind. Anyway, this will be an interesting game. The Bears are showing some signs of life. The Texans are resurrecting their program. I'm not a big Lovie Smith fan, I mean, the Texans aren't going to be as horrible as they were last year, is my point. I think the Bears are going to get better faster. They're in Chicago. It's a longer road trip. I'm going to give the Bears up their hand, and I'm going to take them in this.
Yeah, it's a really interesting game because I think the Texans are playing people harder than people expected them. They're playing better, but I just think the Bears have too much. Even though I like Davis Mills more than I like Justin Fields, I like the rest of the Bears team more than I like the rest of the Texans team. And I like Matt Eberflus as a coach more than I like Lovie Smith as a coach. So in this one, there's a slight edge for me for the Bears, and I will be taking them to win.
All right. Next up is the Jaguars at the Chargers. By all rights, the Chargers should win this game. Right? I mean, the Chargers are a good team. They're potentially a playoff team. I don't think the Jags are playoff contenders yet. But Trevor Lawrence suddenly makes them unpredictable, and unpredictable teams are really hard to prepare for. And the Jags could pull an upset here. I don't think they're going to. I'm going to take the Chargers, but this might be a better game than people think it's going to be.
Yeah, going to be a much more competitive game than people thought, especially, from what I heard, Justin Herbert's going to play. It ended up not being broken ribs. It was more of a dislocated rib cartilage, some rib cartilage injury, which from what I'm told is more of a pain threshold. He's going to be able to play through it. But what will that look like? We saw him at the end of the Chiefs game, not even able to run for the 1 yard on a 3rd and 1, pick it up. He ended up throwing the ball out of bounds. You saw him wincing the whole game after that. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks in this offense. Is Keenan Allen going to be back? Those are questions we have as we sit currently. And the Jags, I tried to tell people all off season. They were laughing at the Jags. They're still going to be trash. No, the Jags got better in the offseason. If you looked at the pieces they brought in, the coach that they brought in, they were going to be more competitive. And I expect them to be more competitive.
Don't do it. Don't. You're going to do it.
I think I'm going to do it, man. I think the Jags are going to be able to get to Justin Herbert in this game. He's going to get hit and he's going to get out. That's my prediction. The way he looked last week, I just think at some point he's going to be in too much pain. They're going to pull him out. And that'll mean Chase Daniel finally gets an opportunity to earn the money that he's made over the course of his career. He's made over $40 million to take 7 snaps in his career. So he finally gets to play. But I think this stingy Jags team is gonna be able to pull it out once Justin Herbert's not there.
All right, you heard it. Hefe's calling for the upset. All right, next up is Falcons at Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are total. The Falcons showed they can beat somebody, and I'm taking the Falcons.
Yeah, luckily week 2 went the way it did, because after week 1 I wasn't sure anymore. But if you watch this in the preseason, I had the Seahawks going 0-17. I had the Falcons going 1-16. The Falcons' only win clearly was against the Seahawks. That doesn't change for me here.
All right. Next up and last up is the Cowboys at the New York Giants. They may have a lot of Cowboys fans call off work on Tuesday. This is an interdivision game. The Cowboys are without Dak. Their confidence is hurting. The Giants are trying to put something together. They'd love nothing more with this rivalry to take it from Dallas. I think they're going to have higher emotions. I think the Cowboys are expected to win. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety. And I think the Giants have nothing to lose, and they're going to bring all their emotion. And I'm going to take the upset here.
Which one's the upset?
I'm taking the Giants.
Okay. Without Dak there, I was unsure which one.
Yeah, fair enough.
This one's tough. This one's real tough. The Giants in both their games so far have been real up and down in their games. And I'm a Daniel Jones believer. I think he can be good. I think he finally has a coaching staff that can make him good. The Cowboys defense, Micah Parsons is as advertised. I was skeptical about how it was going to look coming into his second year, but Micah Parsons is a dog. And I mean, I heard somebody mention during the game, I think Tony Romo mentioned during the Cowboys game, how he's like Lawrence Taylor coming in and immediately making an impact. Seems like every down he's in the quarterback's lap. And watching him is unreal. I think he's going to bother Daniel Jones all game. And I know Daniel Jones has the athleticism to get away, but I think it's going to be tough. And I'd love to go with the Giants. And I feel like I'm going to regret not picking the Giants here, but I just feel like the Cowboys defense is too good for what the Giants offense is currently.
Okay. Theoretical. How does Jerry Jones react if they lose on Monday night to the Giants after what's been happening?
Got to say, after week 2, Mike McCarthy's seat, in my opinion, got a lot less hot. But then if they lose this game to the Giant, it's right back to being on fire for Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. And it got a little less hot, but it's still pretty warm. It wasn't exactly a dominating win, but I agree with you. I think they were humiliated the first time. And I think Jerry Jones and will consider this a humiliation if they lose to New York, despite the fact New York's 2-0 in the same division. But I don't think he's going to handle it well. And McCarthy will really, really, really be on the hot seat.
Yeah, especially with Sean Payton sitting out there. Like any coach that has a pretty good roster and doesn't perform as a coach, like Sean Payton, why wouldn't Sean Payton come back and go to a contender?
Exactly. The 2 top teams that I've heard Sean Payton's name mentioned are the Dallas Cowboys and the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep, and I'm all about it. I have not been on the Fire Frank Reich bandwagon, but after what I saw in Jacksonville and Sean Payton sitting out there, go ahead and fire Frank Reich. Give me Sean Payton.
Yeah, and I'm a Frank Reich fan. I believe in what he's doing, but I have watched this game enough to know that sometimes good coaches just can't win in a specific place. They have to go somewhere else and win, and someone else has to come in to win. It happens all the time in sports. And maybe when you look at what Frank Reich has done with him and Ballard, it's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But if you can't put tick marks in the W column, it's all for naught. It doesn't matter.